Hello and welcome to our first show, our new program, Nice to Meet You, Union Athletics. This is Eric McDowell, and I thank you for joining us for a new special program to feature the extraordinary student athletes at Union College. Each week we'll have one in our studio, and then we'll be on the road with our reporters, Jeff Weinstein and Annie Plunkett, to look at the students and what they're doing in the community, on the campus, nationally and globally. We have extraordinary student athletes at Union, and this is more than just the statistics and scores. You can find all that out at unionathletics.com. But we want to get to know the people outside of the playing arena. And our first guest is Kyle Christine, a junior from the men's lacrosse team, and we thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, a tremendous sophomore year that got you the Scholar Athlete of the Year award. You have a 3.9 cum in economics, just a remarkable statistic in the GPA category. Talk about the rewarding experience that you've had already as a student athlete at Union College.
Well, you know, that's a pretty simple question. Undeniably, Union's the best place I could have ever ended up at, and I think my GPA reflects that. It's not completely just my ability, it's the college's ability to stimulate their students, I think. I've never had trouble wanting to go to the library and study and work hard on the field as well as in the classroom. I love it at Union, and you know, it's given me a great work ethic, and I think that reflects, my GPA reflects that, and my performance on the field also reflects that.
The professors that we have, the impact that they've had on you and your coach, Paul Wareham. He is Mr. Intensity, tremendous Hall of Fame coach as well.
Yes.
Talk about both the professors and your coach and the impact that they have on you.
Well, professors, undeniably, you know, they shape the way you are as a student, and that's a pretty tough question because all the professors I've ever had have been great. You know, my advisor, Shelton Schmidt, he's helped me a lot. This last junior year, I've had a pretty turbulent year compared to my smooth years. I sustained a pretty severe concussion during our fall ball lacrosse, and Shelton really helped me through that. He guided me through finishing out my term. I luckily, you know, made it through the battle and through the tundra and got a 4.0 this last term with all the turbulence, and I really credit that to my advisor. Your advisor at Union is very close with you, and on top of that, he was my Economics 101 professor, so he kicked everything off for me. And then Coach Wareham, you can't really say enough about him. You know, he's a player's coach. He's a father figure to most of us. You know, we can go into his office and, you know, we try to keep it short with him because he can get going too much. But, you know, he really looks after us, and he'd do anything for any of us. Anybody on this team would say that, and I can safely say that there's not one kid on our lacrosse team that would rather play for anybody else.
That's wonderful. We're very fortunate to have him
Extremely.
and what he's done to this program, getting into the NCAAs for the first time, and the tremendous professors and their experience on our campus. Now, this college provides excellent opportunities for internships, and you're an example of that, Kyle. Talk about the opportunity you received with a hedge fund in New York City.
Well, yes, I was lucky enough to get to work this past summer with Fortress Investment Group in their credit business. They also have private equity and liquid markets businesses, but I landed myself in the credit business, which was great. I sat with the capital formation team, which is the sales side of a buy-side firm like Fortress, which was very interesting. I got to see them bring in institutional investors, pension funds, endowments, things of that nature, bring in mass amounts of capital into their funds, and then from there, they turned the capital over to the fund managers and the corporate securities traders, who I also got to spend time with. A guy named Max Safi, and he really took me under his wing with the corporate securities desk. And then Todd Latta and Scott Wertheimer were more than teachers on the field of capital formation. And the people at Fortress were great, and ultimately it was a learning experience. You know, you go in there as a sophomore. What do I know about finance? You know, I can draw a couple models and curves for economics, but that doesn't really get you that far in a hedge fund business. So those guys really taught me a lot.
Now, when you got the Sophomore Scholar Athlete of the Year, the male version, how did you feel that night? Because it is a surprise, those of us that vote. It's an incredible, difficult task to vote in a great way. Because think about all the other people that could have received that award. Exactly.
You know, I wasn't expecting that award at all. You know I work hard, and I know I keep my grades as high as possible, but there's a lot of those students at Union, and I was very lucky to receive that honor. You know, my parents obviously were very thankful for it. It's a great honor. That's the best way to put it. I worked hard for it, and you know, hopefully we can keep that train rolling, and maybe, you know, academic All-American or just a field All-American in general. That'd be great.
Now, last year you were also the academic chair for Sigma Chi. This year you've got another hat, shall we say. That you
Yes.
didn't have to go to Iowa and New Hampshire to make this happen.
No.
Tell us about it.
Well, as of Tuesday night, I was elected president of Sigma Chi, as well as maintaining my spot as the academic chair, which is great. You know, as an academic chair, I get to monitor the grades of the house, help tutor kids that need help. That's very rewarding. I also do that with the younger players on our lacrosse team. I love, you know, it's one thing to have the ability to achieve yourself, but if you can help others achieve, that's the best thing you could ever do. And then to get elected president, you know, it shows that 79 members of a fraternity believe that I can lead them. You know, it's early, but I'd like to say that I do the best job possible for them, and I think they know that. So I'm looking forward to the experience.
What are your initiatives and goals in that role this year?
Well, you know, I act as the liaison to the administration, and I'd like to, you know, I want Sigma Chi to be viewed in a great light with the administration. It already is. We're 3-time Brown Cup winners, which is awarded to the best fraternity on campus. I'd like to keep that going, and goals are to just grow together and, you know, grow within the campus community. You know, we're very active in philanthropy, and we're very active in intramural sports and the social scene at Union, and I'd like to keep that going and keep us in a positive light.
And tell us about the Wounded Warriors program. The football, men's lacrosse teams work on this. You worked significantly on it. We had a presentation prior to one of the home games. An excellent program, very emotional for the families and obviously for you and your teammates as well. It was
very emotional. Our last game against RPI last year for the regular season, we wore all black jerseys in light of the Wounded Warrior Project. And all the proceeds we raised through purchase of the jerseys, food sales, 50-50 sales, all went to a special serviceman who had actually lost his arm from his elbow down in, I believe it was Iraq. It could have been Afghanistan. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that. But regardless, his you know, his dedication to the country is clear as day. You know, we couldn't have been more happy to donate to that serviceman, and the emotion of it all, playing in that game for a real cause. You know, you know, people talk about wins and losses, but that was for a cause. And, you know, even the RPI players who may or may not have been directly involved in it, they definitely felt it too. It was a great game.
It's wonderful. And last season, the memories that you had, the first NCAA, beating RPI at home for the league bid, you going to remember that for a while?
I'll remember that the rest of my life. I can definitely say that. But hopefully we get back to the NCAAs this year.
What are some of the goals as you head into the season?
As we head into the season, you know, you obviously want to win the Liberty League first. You know, that's cut and dry. You win the Liberty League, you go to the NCAAs. From there, we can set our sights on, you know, we lost to the defending national champs last year by 1 goal. I believe we outshot them. I'll take that to my grave. You know, the goals are high. The stage is high for us. You know, we're aspiring to do great things, and we're going to win the Liberty League, and then from there, hopefully our talent, led by our senior captain, John Stitt and Sean Aaron in goal, you know, preseason All-American, preseason Player of the Year. We're poised. We've got a lot of returning guys. Hopefully I can help out myself, and we're going to do great things.
Well, Kyle, for all of us that work at Union, thank you for what you do. And it was great for everybody to be able to meet you today in the story about Kyle Christine. So best of luck with your interviews, as well as the internship in the classroom community, and of course at Bailey Field.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us as our first guest. And now we're going to head out to the Knott Memorial, where we're going to be joined by Annie Plunkett of Union Sports Information, where she will introduce us to Brittany Gilbert, an art design major and a senior on the women's tennis team.
I'm Annie Plunkett from the Union College Sports Information Office, and I am joined by senior women's tennis player Brittany Gilbert. Brittany, welcome. Thank you for coming on our first show ever. Brittany is a senior art major here at Union College, and she's from North Kingston, Rhode Island. We are at the Wyckoff Student Gallery at the historic Knott Memorial in Union College. Brittany, can you first take us on a tour of your work here?
Sure. This is some of my paintings from this summer. I do a lot of oil paintings. Most of them are all plein air, and these are all from around my home state. This one is from Portsmouth, some fog on a farm that's over there. Then we have a sunset looking over Newport, where I spent a lot of time painting. Here we have the Narrow River Marsh going out into Narragansett Bay. And all of them are areas that I've been really familiar with, grown up around, and really enjoy being in and being outside to paint them.
This display is called Landscape Impressions, Chasing the Light. Can you tell us about your grant that you received to study in Italy?
Sure. I received a Beyond the Gates grant to take some plein air painting workshops. I did one in Italy and one in Sag Harbor, and it was just an opportunity for me over the summer to expand my painting and really be able to work on it and work with other artists. So the first workshop that I did was in Buonconvento, Italy, after I studied abroad in Florence, and this is one of the first paintings from that workshop. Every day we were able to go out into the countryside and work with the couple that ran the workshop, and they knew a lot of the vineyard owners and the landowners, so we got a lot of access into them and got some great scenery of the Tuscan landscape. The next painting that I did is around this side. Again, a lot of the traditional vineyard scenes of Tuscany. It was really great to be able to spend all day out there, and we had lunch out there, and just was really able to get to know the environment and see how the light changes throughout the day and throughout the time, and really be able to see what was the best lighting aspect of that day and be able to capture it in the painting. So again, important part of plein air painting is being able to adjust to that lighting changes. And one of the last paintings I did over there was this one of the Tuscan hills. And again, I really like atmospheric perspective, being able to see really far off into the distance as the hills become bluer and closer to the sky color and almost blend right in. So I think that's a really, again, important part of landscape painting. So, and then the second workshop that I was able to do actually at the end of July was in Sag Harbor, Long Island. And this is one of my paintings from that workshop. It was actually run by an artist that lives in Florence, Italy, but he comes back to do some workshops over in the U.S. And that was with a group of about 12 to 15 artists. And every day we'd go out to a different place on Long Island, be able to paint for the day, and really be able to see what other artists were doing and get advice. And it was a really great artistic environment to be in. And another painting that I did over there is over here. One of the challenges too with plein air painting is that the weather does not always cooperate, and this was one of the rainy, foggy days that we had. But again, we just sort of made do with what we could, painted under some umbrellas. But that one was more, again, foggy day, different lighting perspective. And then over here I actually painted the same tree as the first painting, but from a different perspective. We got to go to stand on a dock and paint out on the dock and overlooking one of the harbors. So that was really great. And this one's called Shade Tree, because again, I really like the lighting effects. And this one had a really great shadow coming into the sand, which was one of the parts of it that I guess captured my attention and made me want to paint this particular scene. And as the lighting changed and as the day changed, the colors, the purples and the blues just really, really inspired me. So, and then this is over here, one of the last ones from the workshop. This was afternoon again, so we had another foggy day. And that was a pond that we found. And again, just different lighting, atmospheres, different weather conditions, all made each painting different and every scene definitely unique. Had to learn to adjust to each environment and every condition.
Where was your favorite place to paint?
It's hard. It's hard to pick. I liked each one for different reasons. The ones I did in Rhode Island were definitely the most comfortable with that type of scenery, and so painting it was, I guess, less of a challenge in that I was, again, comfortable with that kind of scene, those colors, the environment. But it was nice to paint something different. In Italy, it was the vineyards where you had to, depict a lot of horizontal straight lines and work with that. And then Long Island was great too because I really love water scenes, but they were all places that I'd never seen before. So everyone has its advantages and disadvantages for sure. So.
Can you just talk a little bit about what the union experience has meant to you, from Coach Buttle to your professors to everything and everyone in between?
Sure. Union's been a really great experience for me. I've been able to be involved in a lot of things in the community. Been on the tennis team for the past 4 years. Been a member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. That's been, again, a really great experience for me. I've also been able to do grants. I've been able to study abroad. I've done a mini-term to Paris to study in the Louvre. I've done a mini-term to Martinique. I got to do a full-term abroad to Florence. I've also been involved in a lot of different clubs, through Outing Club and Ski Club. And I've just, been able to work really closely with my professors. They were the ones who were really able to help me get this grant in order to be able to do the workshops and do this exhibit. And they've also been really helpful for postgraduate opportunities too, working with me to see what it is that I want to do and what opportunities are available for me. So overall, it's just been a really great community campus feel.
Brittany, thank you for your time and your excellent work. We enjoyed this, and best of luck in your final semesters at Union.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annie, and it was nice to meet you, Brittany Gilbert. Best of luck in your upcoming art career, and thank you for your service at Union over your years. We also again want to thank Kyle Christine, our guest here in studio, and the men's lacrosse team, and I thank you for watching our new show. We look forward to bringing you all the stories about the great student athletes at Union College over the next few months. Thanks again for watching.